Now that we went over the concept of the stance cancel and how it shaves 4 frames off of every transition on block and on hit, now we're gonna move on to the section of the video where we talk about the moves themselves. The first one we have, there's not a whole lot of them, Lionheart 1. This move was actually affected by patch 105. This move was recently buffed, and that 5 frames were shaved off of its recovery. If you notice in the bottom left hand corner, it says that the move is -4 on block. Prior to patch 105, this move was -9 on block, meaning that your turn was over. So if you're a newer player and you do a move that is -9 on block, what this means is that it is not jab punishable, as in your opponent cannot do an attack that punishes you for it unless you're somehow in the range of Yoshi's Flash or something. There's no move that can punish you at -9. But what that does mean is that you cannot continue your offense and be mathematically sound, if that makes any sense. To further iterate, if you decide to attack at -9, it will have 9 frames added on to whatever you do. So if you were to do a jab, a simple jab at -9, that jab would come out in 19 frames, and your opponent could literally go make a sandwich and have enough time to beat you with a launch or an armor or what have you, and thus take your turn back anyway. So now at -4, this heat engager move, by the way, this move that activates heat and gives us a heat dash and all that, is now -4 and tracking. So it's been tracking, but the fact that it's -4 gives us a lot more defensive options. So while you more than likely won't be attacking after it, as it's pretty clear that Steve's turn is over after this, what you can do is now you have the frames free to perhaps do some evasive movement, which also got buffed across the board. So we can do Lionheart 1 and then duck if we know the opponent's gonna do a high attack, if we know for a fact. We can do Lionheart 1 and sidestep if we know an attack's coming. We can do Lionheart 1 and sidewalk. We can do Lionheart 1 and backdash. We can do Lionheart 1 into another Lionheart, perhaps goading or baiting out a flash or some other kind of quick attack that is short range. The options are endless, or the options are quite favorable, I should say. This move definitely received a huge buff, very good at the wall. You would use it ideally like a check option when you need those fast frames. This move is 14 frames. 14 frame startup, very fast, the fastest option out of Lionheart. Alright, going to Lionheart 2, aka Bloodhound. This is a very strong move and one of the most used moves that we got in Lionheart. This move gives us a legitimate backswing blow added to Steve's arsenal that launches. Prior to Tekken 8, Steve did not have a move that leaned back and launched you. We had a black swing blow out of Peekaboo and Peekaboo back 2, but it did not launch you. We had various cheeky ways to launch you. Instant Peekaboo up forward 2, which is our Omni Crush. But now in Tekken 8, we had a legit backswing blow added to our arsenal. Very useful for baiting out the opponent and giving us a launch. This is a very welcomed addition to Steve's arsenal in T8. Grants us a combo. Granted, it's not a full launcher. This move will tornado. So this is what I would classify as a tornado launcher. So this move will put them in screw state. So this is very good for baiting out attacks. It can be more difficult, I'll say, up in the upper ranks like Tekken King, when opponents are playing a lot more tight, like they're doing a lot more mathematically sound small Tekken, like down forward 1, 2, 1, like simple lows. It can be difficult to get a large enough gap for this to be effective, in which you'd want to change your strategy into more like instant pad low, you know, an instant quick small Tekken style of approach. But if your opponent is throwing out punishable attacks or launchers, you can bait it out without Fox and then punish them with a launcher. You can punish them pretty effectively, as well as push them to the wall where Steve can push his agenda. This move is 16 frames on block, minus 13. So if you eat a punish, it won't kill you. You will eat a damaging punish. You'll probably at the most get knocked over. So it's very much worth the risk to use. I'll give an example of a combo that you should use in Lionheart. There are plenty of strings or plenty of combo routes, and my routes have definitely changed throughout these patches, but here's the one I'm currently using. $64 damage. $81 damage. That's just a sample. There are plenty of combo routes. That's just one of the ones that I use because of its combo and branching ways that I can mix you up. I'll show one of them here. I'm not going to show all of them because I want to show all my secrets. Actually, yes, I do. Like, I can do something like this, where I can mix you up and have you think I messed up. I can intentionally whiff an up back 2, and I can use one of the follow-ups on opponents that are whiffing attacks, thinking it's time to take their turn back when Steve is not finished. SWINGFIRE Advance. This is the unique move of LIONHEART Stance. This move is a new and improved 18 frame on startup compared to the 20 to 21 frames of startup that it had at the launch of Vanilla TEKKEN 8. This move has been greatly improved in a variety of ways as of patch 104. As of 104, this move got faster. Went from 21 frames to 18 frames on startup. As you see here, 18 to 19 frames. So it got 2 frames shaved off of its startup, making it a lot faster and a lot more unseeable for players to react to when it came time to dealing with the Ali Shuffle. But then in patch 105, Namco decided to bless us again. And then they buffed this move not with 1 but 2 new additions to the move. As of patch 105, a new hit property was added to Tekken 8 called Reversal Break. Harada thought that armor in Tekken 8 was too strong, and I'd have to be inclined to agree. So as of patch 105, their goal was to create a reversal, so to speak, to make armoring less easily accessible and less of the stronger option in most scenarios. So every single character in the game got what's known as a reversal break effect that will shatter the opponent's armor should they choose to armor while you do the reversal break attack. I'll give an example of this. I'll do foot stomp and Jin will do his power crush. So if I choose to do SWINGFIRE, you'll notice that it shatters armor now. So not only does it shatter armor, it also launches. Not only does it shatter armor and launch, it also adds chip damage on block. As you saw, whenever we use this move on a blocking opponent, it will break their guard. It will break their guard and leave us at plus 12, leaving us some guaranteed damage on the table. This move just used to be able to do guaranteed damage up to 12 frames, so for us this would mean doing 2-1 or 2-2 for max damage at 19 damage. As of patch 105, they decided this wasn't enough, and we got Lionheart 1+2 added chip damage. So now when we get our guaranteed damage, it's a little bit more off the top. You see, this is a great change. 2-1 back or 2-1 forward for mix-up opportunity. So yeah, in patch 104, this is 18 frames and became a launcher. And in patch 105, it gained chip damage and became a reversal break effect. We'll go over an example of a sample combo to use for your Lionheart 1+2. That's the wall carry. As if you want to spend a little heat. Very solid move. Great on block. Great on hit. This move is amazing. And it only got better. In conclusion, prior to patch 104, Lionheart was something that Steve players avoided like the plague. Lionheart Stance was a detriment to Steve as a character, according to the opinions of various Steve players. It wasn't that the options weren't good, it's the fact that the stance was forced on you with no way to cancel or defend yourself if you decided to use a move that went into it. Foot Stomp was a mix-up for you as much as it was for the opponent prior to patch 104. You would do moves to actively avoid being in Lionheart Stance at inconvenient times. This playstyle was very unattractive for a lot of Steve players, and they dropped the character, and the use data went down quite a bit for this character in Tekken 8 as opposed to his Tekken 7 numbers. Steve is a very popular character, but his usage dropped because it became too demanding to have to know which moves went into Lionheart so that you could actively avoid using them at inconvenient times, when the stance should be a boon to us. It became a hindrance. So it went from being a bust to a boon. I gotta say that this move has gotten incredible changes, more than worthy of having the 2.0 title added onto it. Lionheart is now great in Tekken 8. It's what I would call a complete stance. We have a quick checking option that is very fast mid. So we have a tracking option for opponents trying to step us. We have a launcher out of it. So we have a unique property not granted to other characters, and that we have an unblockable attack outside of heat. It's increased Steve's player expression almost exponentially, I gotta say. There's so many moves that you can choose to cancel at various points that you can create a microcosm of mix-ups for your opponent that it will be almost impossible for them to keep up with, and that's before going into instant stance transitions. Steve is a great character now. Steve, welcome to Tekken 8. Prior to patch 104, Steve was a Tekken 7 character, fighting in a realm of Tekken 8 characters. And then as of patch 104, we gained the weapons and tools to defeat Tekken 8 characters. Options that can defeat armor, which is our plus frames on Foot Stomp, our plus 8 frame recovery change, allowed us to compete with armor moves and be a competitor in Tekken 8. And then as of patch 105, I'm proud to say that we are now officially a Tekken 8 character, boys. Everything is a go. Our moves are cancelable. No, we're not a perfect character. We don't have a low out of Lionheart. We don't have an armor move out of Lionheart. But Lionheart has gotten so strong over these patch 2 patches, especially in Heat, that it more than makes up for it. This move and this stance is fantastic. I'm absolutely proud to have it in the game. Outfox is amazing. Something that you'll see almost every Steve Fox using now, optionally and willfully, and most importantly, not forcefully. So I appreciate everybody for watching. Thank you so much for watching our Lionheart 2.0 video. This will conclude our beginner stance guide for Steve Fox, where we did a deep dive on all of the stances that Steve has. We're now complete. So now we're going to go into our advanced Steve series, where we'll be going into various nuances of Steve, such as optimized back turn combos. We're going to really go into the nuances that makes you a god level Steve. So definitely stay tuned for the mayhem. This has been your boy Final Boss. I want you all to stay strong, invest 10% of your income, and live powerful. See you in the advanced series. Knew it. I was like, you're gonna go for that unblockable eventually. There's no way! There's no way he did it that quick! There is no fucking way! Yo, what? Nah, I'm clipping that. Nah, ain't no fucking way. Ain't no way. This Tekken God just plugged on me.